This is an island surrounded by water, big water, ocean water. Trust me, I'm like a smart person. I'm very consistent. I'm a very stable genius. I had the best words. Tolerate it. I know words. Mike Pounds. I hope they now go and take a look at the oranges of the investigation. But there's no better word than stupid. Anonymous, really anonymous. I'm very highly educated. One of the wettest we've ever seen from the standpoint of water. Had the best words. God bless the United States.
Now witness the firepower of this fully armed and operational battle station.
There's insanity in the control room. Who's got a hammer?
Around the nation, Waldorf Nation. What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. It's Tuesday. We got a show for you today. It's going to be fun. Going to be very exciting. So yeah, why don't we do it? We're going to jump into it. Apparently, there's some breaking news. I don't know what's going on. Oh, there's been a verdict. Wow. Okay. Wonderful. Yes, breaking news. We have a verdict in the E. Jean Carroll sexual assault lawsuit, rape lawsuit, I should say, civil suit. Apparently, Fox News. Okay, hold on. Let's go to something else. Verdict is in. Guilty of sexual assault and defamation, but not rape. So, okay. Why don't we get into that segment? I'm going to talk more about it tomorrow, again, because this is very, very breaking news. But ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Well, it seems like Trump got himself. With the help of E. Jean Carroll, of course, who was brave enough to stand up and go after Donald Trump and hold him somewhat accountable for his misdeeds. So, all right. Anyway, with that, we're going to have fun. We've got Pillow Talk. We have Elon Musk saying horrible things, tweeting horrible things. We have, a lot of interesting stories, including Newsmax intentionally trying to confuse its audience. Oh, wow. A big surprise. Newsmax trying to confuse our audience. But wait till you hear what that's about. Yikes. Yes. Okay. With that said, let's start out with the first segment here. Please like and share the stream if you haven't already. Very important that you do so. Okay. Let's do it. One of them days.
God gave me this platform. I already know I'm going to win.
China did our vote. Biden and Harris would say, hey, we're here to protect the country, and resign.
Mike Lindell's a conspiracy.
But you haven't.
Just forget about the evidence. This was attacked.
Mike Pillow is looking to waste more of his own money on stupid lawsuits after losing a $5 million bet. So what am I referring to? Well, last month, an arbitration panel said that Mike Lindell, CEO of MyPillow, must pay $5 million to a software engineer, who debunked his nonsense BS election fraud claims. China, they're stealing our votes. They're using the Italians, the Iranians, the Pomeranians. They're hacking into the satellites. They're hacking into the voting machines. And I've got the packet data transfers in order to, prove it. No, the only packets, apparently, that Mike Pillow has is old packets of ketchup in his car. Possibly in his couch. Maybe packets of mayo as well. Who knows? Who knows what kind of packets? But they weren't the kind of packets that he was claiming that he had. And that was proven by Robert Zaidman, who took him up on the challenge and released a 15-page report that concluded that the data that Lindell had and presented to him did not contain packet data of any kind and do not contain any information related to the November 2020 presidential election. Because of course.
Stupid.
Lindell, again, with the packets. You'd be better off just handing packets of ketchup or mustard or whatever condiment you have, because it would be inherently worth more than apparently the data that he handed over to Mr. Zaidman, who was not a moron, who's actually a smart person, knows what he's talking about, unlike Mike Pillow. Hi. Now, a panel of contest judges, which included a Lindell attorney, so you can kind of tell what direction they were going to rule anyway, declined to declare Zaidman a winner, despite, actually doing the thing that he signed up to do. So Zaidman filed for arbitration under the contest's own rules that he had signed. And guess what? He won. Because he signed a contract. Everybody signed a contract. Agreeing to arbitration. In fact, after conducting an evidentiary hearing in Minneapolis in January, the three arbitrators then ordered Mr. Pillow to pay Zaidman, $5 million. He proved the data Lindell LLC provided and represented reflected information from the November 2020 election unequivocally did not reflect November 2020 election data. The arbitrators wrote, failure to pay Mr. Zaidman the $5 million prize was a breach of contract entitling him to recover. But of course, as we all know, Lindell never intended to pay up. And here he is now on Steve Bannon's War Room earlier today, Tuesday, admitting, no, I'm not going to pay him. In fact, here's our next step.
Everyone heard about the $5 million fiasco. The challenge, they're challenging the evidence, or some of the evidence that I have, and we're taking that. We met with the lawyers yesterday. We're taking that to court. So that's the report on that.
Oh, yeah, that's the report on that. More dumb lawsuits. Of course. No, the $5 million fiasco. Yeah, the fiasco that you started, that you created. Congratulations, Mike. You built that.
You idiot.
Okay. So okay. Here's the thing. So he's apparently planning to take an arbitration decision back to court after he already lost in court. So now it sounds like, I don't know, somebody seems like he's a sore loser, got a little sour grapes, maybe feeling a little bit salty and decide, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go and lose me another lawsuit because that's what I do here. Hey, you know what? I haven't lost enough. I'm going to go lose again. Wow. Look, I'm not saying that he can't go and challenge that, but any serious challenge, and I say serious, any serious challenge is going to require a pretty good case that the person or the people, in this case, the three-panel arbitration panel. That look, for example, they have to prove that those three were engaged in gross unfairness. They might also have to prove that the person who was awarded money by this arbitration agreement engaged in sort of fraud or misconduct. Now, all of that's going to be really, really tough to prove, especially gross unfairness by arbitrators. I'm pretty sure that, well, it's unfair to me. Well, I don't like it. That's not going to work. That's not going to be a compelling argument in a court of law. I'm just saying. But hey, look, if Mike Pillow wants to waste his money paying lawyers on what is going to be inevitably another epic loss, then on his behalf, by the way, well, then who might argue? I mean, these lawyers, look, they I think they lucked out, honestly, assuming they get paid at the end of the day, because they get to sit back and lose another non-winnable case and still get paid for it. So, well done. Well done.
You idiot.
Stupid. Just forget about the evidence.
That's right. Forget about the evidence. Well done. Nailed it. Nailed it. Okay. Anyway, let's move on. I love those Mike Pillow updates. It is just they're just hilarious. Okay. Chief Twit, Elon Musk, has been leaning further and further into basically spreading openly white nationalist talking points. Maybe leaning is not exactly the right word for it. He's just all in, sharing white nationalist talking points, spreading them on his platform that he paid $44 billion for. Now, this latest example follows the death of Jordan Neely, or I should say the killing of Jordan Neely by a Marine named Daniel Penny. So now, following that horrific situation, the far right has begun to focus not on the fact that Neely was not violent. He was not, doing anything violent towards other people. He was basically asking for, crying for free to die or go to prison because his living situation had become that desperate, that unacceptable. Living the life that he was living, just completely unacceptable for him. And so you get to that point of desperation. I mean, you can't imagine being at such a low point in your life and then having someone put you in a chokehold for 15 minutes until you die. So now, instead of talking about this and how the system has failed Jordan Neely, both the law enforcement system as well as the social safety net, the economy, the mental health care system, healthcare system in general, all of that had failed and created a situation where Jordan Neely did not have the care that he needed. He did not have the resources to be able to take care of his mental health and to do better for himself. And not only that, but when people, who have those kind of issues are properly treated and taken care of, it actually reduces violence in the area. It actually reduces the possibility of violence happening to other people around him and violence being enacted onto him as well. But instead of talking about that, the right wing decides to put out unsubstantiated, misleading, and false information to suggest that the media outrage over this is only because Neely is black and Penny is white. So again, this leans heavily into white supremacist talking points. Now, these talking points spread by different bad faith right-wing accounts have attracted the attention of Elon Musk, who's very, very concerned, apparently, about the issue of black on white crime. So he recently amplified the already gigantic Twitter account at End Wokeness. Okay? Now, one tweet that has been viewed more than 16 million times, thanks to Twitter's new white supremacist-friendly algorithm, suggests that black on white crime is the most common form of crime, but the one that receives the fewest amount of media attention. Musk, who has 138 million followers himself, responded by asking why the media would misrepresent the real situation to such an extreme degree. Here's that. So we've seen this. Perspective is everything. Oh, look at the black on white. Oh my goodness. Now, look, that graph is horribly misleading. So it excludes some very important things: white on white crime and black on black crime. Okay? So that's crimes by white people against other white people that are the most common type of crime in the United States. It turns out whites are criming. Whites are criming all the time. That's right. And we're criming ourselves. White people. Oh, wait, does that mean white people are inherently violent? Must be the culture. It must be the culture. No, it's because white people make up the majority of the United States. It's really simple. It's very, very simple, unless you're a dumbass white nationalist, which are the dumbest people on the planet. So now let me show you here the real graph, real statistics, right? Okay, hold on. That's the real graph. Yeah, look at that. Oh wow, look at that. Okay, so you've got white on white crime, massive. And then you do have that black on black crime, black on white. Again, the higher black on white crime also can be explained by the fact that white people are the majority of the population. But what about black on black crime? That can also be explained by the fact that you have a lot of black people that live in the same areas with black people. That's interracial violence. So very, very, very stupid and misleading statistics here shared by Elon Musk. But why would the media misrepresent the real situation to such an extreme degree? Says, moron Elon Musk. I knew this guy was stupid for a long time. I just didn't realize how utterly racist he turned out to be. Wow. Just wow. So now, that second graph that I showed you is from a Belgian website that took these numbers from the Department of Justice 2018 Crime Victimization Report. In that report, it is noted that the demographics of the United States in the year 2018, the year of our Lord 2018, white people made up 75% of the U.S. population. So when you normalize the data for population, the rate of black on white crime is similar to the rate of white on black crime. And I want to show you the table from the Department of Justice that they got this information from. Here you are. Shaded. Look at that. Nice little boxes to explain everything. Yeah. So it shows 15.3% of crimes against white people are committed by black people, and 10.6% of crimes against black people are committed by white people. So again, it relatively similar. Very simple. Very simple. But see, the thing is that we see from white nationalist accounts, white supremacist accounts, is this idea that the media is, for some reason, ignoring black on white crime and only elevating white on black crime. Well, there's a reason that the media tends to focus on stuff. But first, let me give to their ridiculous examples. Okay? So now, Guilford, sorry. On May 4th, Carlton Guilford, a black man, killed 2 white victims. Oh no. Now the right wing screamed about it. Oh my God. Media, mainstream media, where are you? Look at this black on white crime. Why are you never covering it? Okay, well, first of all, they actually did cover it. And I'll get to the outlets here that did. But first, this is the most important point. You see, Carlton Guilford was arrested and charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, 2 counts of shooting with intent to kill, and 1 count of malicious intimidation or harassment. This happened in Oklahoma. So then where's other than the fact that this was a horrific crime and, victims were innocent, deserve to die, and maybe it's more of an indictment of how, these people are able to get weapons, and these people, as in anybody who, actually does a crime, gets their hands on weapons, guns, in order to do these crimes. That's the issue that needs to be looked at, not the race. But here's the thing. The story was covered nationally and internationally in the New York Post, Fox News, Newsweek, Yahoo, Daily Mail, MSN, numerous conservative publications, because of course, and virtually every outlet in the state of Oklahoma. So it seems like this was covered plenty. So where's the national outrage? There's no reason for it. Now, the reason that people are outraged about Jordan Neely is the fact, again, that Daniel Penny runs free after holding a man in a chokehold for 15 minutes when he was no threat, had not violently assaulted any of the other passengers on the train. And yes, was having a mental health episode, but was not a danger to anyone else. So, you didn't need to defend yourself because you weren't in danger. You didn't need to defend anyone else because no one else was in danger. There's no one giving physical or violent. So you took a man and you choked him out for 15 minutes until he died. And nothing has happened to you. And not only that, you've been lionized by right-wing media. That's the problem. That's the outrage. The outrage also is the fact that, once again, here was another situation where an unhoused person fell through the cracks of society and ended up in such a horrible, tragic end. A life that did not have to get snuffed out. Okay? Now, there's another tweet which claimed that a black man threw an infant down a flight of stairs and threw his wife off a rooftop. And that tweet claimed there was no outrage. Elon Musk saw that tweet and responded, concerning. Such an idiot. Now, the man, Tyler Griffin, was a violent person, yes. Now, police ended up determining that his wife jumped off the top of a hotel. Griffin was charged with assault, reckless endangerment, and acting in a manner injurious to a child. So, once again, we have an arrest, charges, all that stuff. So, and media coverage as well. Daily Mail, Pix 11, New York Post, Fox News, a lot of these conservative outlets, they covered it. It seems like from that, all these right-wing outlets are laser focusing on that. See, it's projection. Every accusation is actually a confession of what they're doing. They're focusing on these crimes, black on white crimes. And they also focus on black crimes as well. Because the whole point is to try to paint all black people as inherently violent, which is a white nationalist talking point. That's all it is. Now, in the case of, again, Daniel Penny, the reason why we were upset, the reason that we were upset when it came to the death of George Floyd, when it comes to deaths of unarmed black people by police officers. The fact is, we're upset because there is no justice. There were no arrests, and it often took people speaking out, voicing their disapproval for what's going on, for how the justice system is handling these things. There is an injustice system. The idea, though, that there is a anti-white bias in the media is not backed up by any actual evidence. In reality, media actually has a bias against black people. And I would say that it's not, an explicit bias, but it's an implicit bias because of how they cover crime. Since the 1990s, there's been research that has shown that the media propagates negative stereotypes of black people as criminals. In the 1998 study of Philadelphia local news, researchers found that people of color were overrepresented as perpetrators of violence against white actors at a rate that was 4 times more than what was captured by actual homicide data. White Philadelphians, on the other hand, were overrepresented as victims. So, similarly, in 2000, a study of Los Angeles local news found that black and Latino people were more likely to be portrayed as perpetrators compared to white people. Meanwhile, white people were more likely to be depicted as defenders of the law. Researchers also determined that distribution of perpetrators of crime by race on television news was ultimately inconsistent with data on arrests. Another study in 2003 indicated that the news disproportionately covered homicides that involved a black perpetrator and a white victim, particularly if the victim was a woman. More recently, in 2016, a group of researchers found that victims killed in predominantly black neighborhoods in Chicago receive less news coverage than those killed in non-Hispanic white neighborhoods. And on average, black victims received 2.8 news articles compared to white victims who received 3.8. A separate study from 2021 finds that compared to black victims, the media is 4 times more likely to present a white victim with a photo featuring friends or family. So basically, this has an effect in helping perpetuate more punitive attitudes towards black people in our justice system, in our carceral system. Because when white Americans associate crime with people of color, they're more likely to support more punitive criminal justice policies. Perception has an effect. If you see black people as more inherently criminal, then you're going to be tougher on them. But again, that is not the case. But see, now you have the CEO of Twitter that is amplifying these messages. While at the same time, he's been messing with the algorithm to make sure that his tweets and his retweets, his activity is pushed on everyone else. Now, for political Twitter, okay, political Twitter is pretty small. It's actually a really small part of what Twitter is. Most of Twitter is filled with normal people. Normies. What he's done is made sure that his tweets are pushed to normies. You can block him, he still shows up. And he's pushing this kind of crap on everyone else. There's so many ways this is damaging to the discourse, to, it has an effect on discourse, it has an effect on policy, it has an effect on just a general kind of conversation. This is what's going on. This is what Elon Musk is doing. And, he's doing it on purpose. I know, big surprise. Okay. Let's move on. The conservative boycott of Anheuser-Busch has been joined by an unlikely, not really ally, but an unlikely source. Gay bars in Chicago. Huh. So now wait. Some LGBTQ bars in Chicago have decided to drop Anheuser-Busch products, not because they put out some commemorative cans, celebrating transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney, but because Anheuser-Busch has since backed away and refuses to defend Dylan Mulvaney. So I actually love it. In fact, this is Mark Robertson of Two Bears Tavern Uptown, who, by the way, co-owns 4 LGBTQ plus bars in Chicago. He said, unlike what we'd expect from Anheuser-Busch, that had a history of supporting LGBTQ events and programming, sponsoring things like Pride in Chicago, they chose to side with hate. Well, I mean, I'm going to disagree a little bit with what he said, unlike what we would expect from Anheuser-Busch. Actually, this is exactly what I would expect from Anheuser-Busch. You see, this goes into rainbow capitalism, okay, into the fact that these companies actually don't care about gay people at all, about trans people at all. They care about looking good so they can sell more products. But anyway, other than that, I love what he's saying. Because he's saying, look, you're not supporting trans people, then, well, we're not going to support you. But we'll get to that, okay? I'm getting ahead of myself. So you all know, over the last couple of months, the right wing has been losing their minds over these custom cans. As a result, like, oh, Bud Light's going to make you trans or something. Just having the most unhinged meltdown of meltdowns over it's not even like, you couldn't even go out and get those cans yourself. It was just a special promotional can sent to Mulvaney. And that was it. Oh, okay. Wow. Oh, wow. What a reason to melt down. But yet, again, you had conservatives going out and shooting cases of Bud Light with their guns, which is hilarious because you already bought the beer. You already gave them your money, and now you've spent money on that ammunition too, which can't be cheap, depending on the weapon that you use. It's so ridiculous. It's so absolutely ridiculous. I haven't seen. I even watched a video where somebody, unironically, opened a Bud Light, started drinking it, and then it turned into a big black sex toy. Like, hey man, you posted that. I don't know. Something in me makes me think that that's exactly what they wanted to post. Can't help themselves.
Sexual anarchy.
Hey, you know what? Good for you.
Insurrection is about the people.
Good for you. Have fun. But no. They lost their mind. They claimed all sorts of ridiculous things. Like, for example, claiming without evidence that Mulvaney was some sort of pedophile. Come on. Really? Others said that they were boycotting Bud Light. But funny enough, they ended up switching to other allegedly LGBTQ plus friendly brands. But look, when we're talking about corporations, remember, Anheuser-Busch actually owns a lot of different brands. And a lot of these other, corporations, they still donated to anti-LGBTQ plus politicians, Republicans that are pushing some of the most heinous anti-trans bills all over the country. And why did they do it? Because money, of course. But nonetheless, this backlash scared the crap out of the suits. And by the end of April, Bud Light's parent company, Anheuser-Busch, put out a statement saying that it, quote, never intended to be part of a discussion that divides people. We're in the business of bringing people together over a beer. Yeah, okay, sure, but there's actually civil rights here. The civil rights of transgender people were being erased right now. Or at least there's a massive attempt to try to erase trans people. So, for that non-response...
Beta male.
Super weak. Oh, but it gets worse. Recently, Anheuser-Busch InBev CEO Michael Dukakis brought up the controversy in an investor call and said, quote, "We will continue to learn, meet the moment in time. I'll be stronger. And we work tirelessly to do what we do best, bring people together over a beer and creating the future of more cheers." Again, completely missing the point that this is a fight over people's human rights, civil rights, to be respected as they are, as human beings. So, way to not stand up for Mulvaney, which is, by the way, this is even more compounded because it was Bud Light that sent the cans to Mulvaney in the first place, putting her in the crosshairs, metaphorically. So, well done. Well done on that. Great job, Anheuser-Busch. Way to drop the ball.
You idiot.
But look, understand that this is the expected outcome. We knew this was going to happen. They were never going to stand up for Mulvaney if there was a large backlash, which there was, because they bowed to the sales pressure, to the money. That's what they always do. Robertson continued by saying, "We would not let a customer stand here and say anti-trans things. We are certainly not going to let a beer go across our bar that is letting people say anti-trans things." They have continued to redouble their negative response and keep saying, "Oops, we made a mistake, we made a mistake," which is essentially saying supporting the LGBTQ community, specifically the T in this case, was a mistake, and that's disgusting. 100%. Robertson not only dumped out all the Anheuser-Busch beer in the bar, he also removed all traces of their products. Actually doing it right this time, doing research and saying, oh, all these other beverages are also owned by Anheuser-Busch, so we're just going to get rid of them as well. Not like idiot conservatives that were just like, oh, get rid of the Bud Light. And then what? Then keep all the other brands? Yeah, genius. Very, very stable genius.
I'm cognitively there.
Yeah, okay.
Person.
Well, a smart person.
And then they say, "There's Donald Trump, an intellectual. Trust me, I'm like a smart person."
That's all of them, right? Oh, I'm such a smart person. No, you're not. Idiots. Idiots. But, okay, anyway. Now, what he says next is incredibly important, though. After, I just also want to note that they also got rid of the taps and covered the Bush name with electrical tape. So they're just getting rid of everything. All right, hey, if you're going to boycott, that's the way to do it, right? But what he says next is super important. Quote, "We are looking for real, honest support. Not a rainbow flag on a t-shirt. Not a rainbow cup. Not a rainbow cake. I'm looking for you to stand up and say, we support you. We believe in your rights. And that 100% is how you have to do it." See, what Anheuser-Busch was doing was not being an ally. They were not a real ally. They were engaging in rainbow capitalism. And that's it. They thought they could make themselves look better by making some custom cans, and that they would end up making some money off of it. Instead, what they did is, when the right wing got pissed off, because they're pissed off about everything, they're always mad, always raging about something, always looking for something to get outraged about, and who scream about it at all times. Well, these companies said, oh, we're scared now. They backed down after they lost a little bit of stock value. Now, I don't really care about their stock value, honestly. I don't care about Anheuser-Busch. I don't care about the stock value. I don't care about any of these, these corporations that engage in rainbow capitalism. I don't care. I don't care. Oh, hey, you know what? If Anheuser-Busch, their stock completely cratered and went out of business, I wouldn't give one damn about it at all. I don't care. Let them crash. Split them up. Have at it. I don't care about their stock portfolios or anybody's stock portfolio. And it's because they engage in this. So we know, we see through this. And the left saw through this. look, these companies, they're just, again, another faceless corporation. Corporations have no values. The only thing they care about is fiduciary responsibility to their shareholders. That's because they're not human beings. Now, this fight, the fight for trans rights, is about human beings. It is about human rights. That's why we care about this. But they don't. Because again, they're a faceless corporation with a fiduciary responsibility to their shareholders, and they're going to do ultimately what makes them the most money. Now, if a company actually decides to go all in supporting trans people, good. I'm in favor of that. Fine, great. But in order to do that, in order to show that, you have to actually show that you're an ally, a real ally. And that would involve not giving money to anti-LGBTQ politicians in this case, right? So no more money to Republicans unless they're, again, pro-LGBTQ. That's really simple. Oh, but then you lose your tax cuts, you see. Or you might lose your tax cuts, or you might not be able to, buy these politicians off that will give you special, deregulation or things like that. Can't do that. But if you wanted to, I mean, you could stop giving money to these terrible people. You could also, stop giving to terrible political groups. You could donate to charities like the Trevor Project that help transgender people, specifically transgender youth. If you want to be an ally, put your money where your mouth is. And if not, well, just got one thing to say.
Get the out of my house! That's it. See you later.
Okay. Bet you didn't see that one coming. Okay. Let's move on. Oh boy. All right, you're going to enjoy this one. Newsmax is running with a conspiracy theory about the Texas mall shooter. Yeah, I know. Newsmax with the conspiracy theory. Oh boy, and it's Tuesday, literally. Now, this is a serious story with serious implications and a serious, gross violation against journalism at Newsmax, which I guess does not claim to be journalists. Be fair about that. Has committed. So now the gunman who killed 8 people at a mall in Allen, Texas on Saturday has been identified as Mauricio Garcia, a 33-year-old former security guard from Dallas who's reported to have had white supremacist views and posted to social media accounts, including a Russian account discovered by the New York Times. So now in his postings, there were some things that were not good, like language that praised Hitler, and references to neo-Nazi websites like the Daily Stormer. Now, these things, unfortunately for the right wing, made them feel very uncomfortable. Their feelings were hurt, and they decided to do some segments here and run with the conspiracy theory that Mauricio Garcia is not that Mauricio Garcia, but a different guy. And they're going to post a wrong photo, which has been posted online by right-wing accounts that are doing this to mislead people on purpose. So here are the 2 segments in question on Newsmax. Take a look.
When you were looking at a Hispanic guy, saw the video, saw the pictures, he's laying there dead. Thoughts, Josh?
Yeah, look, I mean, Eric, you emphasize it, but, this guy's name is Mauricio Garcia. I mean, if he's the white supremacist, then he's probably the dumbest white supremacist in the history of white supremacy.
This guy did it, Mauricio Garcia. And oh yes, a white supremacist with neo-Nazi ties. Now, look, This is not a white supremacist. And oh, by the way, we abhor white supremacy. But you know what the left does, right? They think anything MAGA must be white supremacist. That is appalling. This is just pathetic, all right? Now, there's a tattoo, many tattoos, and someone at one point tried to say that's the City of Dallas tattoo. No, it looks like it's the Puro Tango Blast prison gang tattoo, all right? This is not a white supremacist. Yes, if you stand on your head and cross your eyes and take a drag on a cigarette, one of those etchings might look like a swastika. All right, this is what they do now. This is what it's all about. Trying to tarnish or somehow diminish the other side by any means possible. This, again, totally pathetic.
Oh, the projection is strong with this one. Hit a nerve, did we, Greg Kelly? Now, there is a photo there of a person named Mauricio Garcia, but the person is not that particular Mauricio Garcia. So the person that's pictured, 36 years old, 3 years older than the actual shooter, 33-year-old. Now, that man's mugshot was taken on August 4th, 2022, when he was arrested, and has nothing to do with the shooting at an Helen Outlet Mall that happened on Saturday. So let me just say it slowly. Not the same person. Yes. Now, maybe you could forgive them for, not doing their due diligence because they're not exactly as smart as people. Okay? If that's indeed, of course, what they were doing. And I say that because, people in the news, they get it wrong all the time. Okay? It's true. But for these guys, it's not the goal here, because those guys, they're on Newsmax. They're not rando internet sleuths. They actually have resources. They could actually do some, research. I know. Think about that. Imagine that. Doing research. Well, then they wouldn't be right-wingers. Now, by the way, the goal here is to claim that the shooter was not a white supremacist, didn't hold any white supremacist views. And it's just making MAGA look bad. Why do we have to make MAGA look bad when you already do a really good job of that yourselves? January 6th, Charlottesville, on and on. Now the other thing, of course, that blows their minds is how, how could a Hispanic man be a white supremacist? You ever heard of Nick Fuentes? You ever seen Kanye West? I mean, the guy who on Alex Jones was too extreme for Alex Jones. Wow. And by the way, while you're at it, maybe we should look at his tattoos. That's not his tattoos. Yeah. I don't know. That's that appears to be a swastika. Another white supremacist tattoos, SS. I mean, it's really hard to mistake that for anything else. Just saying. Weird. Oh, and by the way, you should also look at this. This is one of his posts. Down there at the bottom, it says, it's funny because it's true. I think I'll take my chances with the white supremacists. I mean, that's pretty clear there. Now, other things that he has posted on social media are, of course, rants against women. Apparently, he was very prominent in incel forums. Oh, and he was an avid Tim Pool fan. You know what? I should have just kept it at Tim Fool. Same. He also shared screenshots from multiple episodes of Timcast IRL and made positive references to libs of TikTok. Tyre Rychek's very anti-LGBT, anti-trans Twitter account. So he also lauded the activities and beliefs of white nationalists and anti-Semitic Nick Fuentes, and highlighted more than one of his appearances on online talk shows. So now, getting back to Tim Pool for a second, he has a rotating cast of white supremacists on his program, hosting it all the time. So, I mean, it seems pretty natural there, you know, for him to be a fan. Thing. Garcia also referenced the white nationalist nonprofit VDARE in his social media history. Even before police released Garcia's name to the public, VDARE got ahead of the game and stressed to their audience that the killer appeared to be Latino. You know, because somehow they have this idea that Latino people cannot be bigoted or racist against other people. Got news for you. It is definitely possible. But that's what they're doing, okay? So they're claiming conspiracy, as they always do. And they do so, of course, because they don't want to take responsibility for the type of crap they put out into the world. That's what they do with their rhetoric, their online posting, their protection of people who are white supremacists, hold these white nationalist views. They elect people who are white nationalists and hold these views. This is who they are. And so, of course, they're going to try to deflect any responsibility for the rhetoric that they put out, which is hateful, which is bigoted. And also, apparently, embarrassing. Okay. He's not Hispanic. He's a white man from Spain, which makes him European. Well, yeah, all Hispanic people are they all European? Okay, anyway. Let's move on. Let's make fun of Michael Knowles, who says weird things. It's a bit of an older video, but it's too much fun, and I'm shocked that I missed it. Okay. And if that is a very bizarre writer. Hold on. I gotta change that. He's not a writer. Still didn't think that I would have to put up that sort of lower third. It's crazy. All right. Fun times. Daily Wire host Michael Knowles believes that hypnosis can trans you.
It constitutes a kind of hypnosis where men will say, I was a normal guy, I lived to be 41, 42, and I was basically normal, but then I fell into this kind of pornography, and it essentially melted my brain. I had a nervous breakdown. Now I think that I'm a woman. So rather than have to expose myself to that, and then, I have to go to confession, potentially my brain gets melted.
Your brain's already melted, bro. Michael Knowles is probably one of the dumbest men alive. Seriously. Holy shit. Okay, so let's get to the obvious thing. That's not how hypnosis works. That's not how any of this works. It literally cannot make you do things that you don't actually want to do. I don't know if a lot of people know this. I don't know if a lot of people actually understand what hypnosis actually entails, but it does not make you do things that you don't want to do, and it certainly cannot trans you against your will, okay? But it gets dumber because Michael Knowles decides that he's going to bring on a so-called expert into sissy porn.
Hypnosis pornography is a little bit different in that it incorporates your lifestyle. So typically when we think of pornography, we think of it as something that is passive, that you're sort of watching. But this type, it asks you to sort of change your behavior, change the way you dress, even to start taking hormones. And it's sometimes called sissy hypno. So that's short for sissification, hypnosis, pornography. And, you know, I myself, I have personally been somewhat mocked for the suggestion that this is having a powerful impact on men. However, trans activists themselves will say things like it influenced them. There's a famous academic who wrote a book in 2019. His name is Andrea Long Chu, and the name of his book is Females. And in that book, he explicitly states that sissy porn and hypnosis made him start identifying as transgender.
What? Okay, well, I mean, she says she's been mocked for saying that, and now I see why. She's not very smart. She's a moron. Again, I hate to say it, but
Stupid. You idiot.
wow. Wow. Okay, so my brain has melted as a result of this. That is the most concentrated amount of stupid I've heard this week. You can't just listen to a hypnophile or a hypnotist and suddenly become trans. That's not what happens. That's not reality. Okay? Okay. I don't know. Maybe they think like they're so stupid. They're so intellectually uncurious that they believe, oh yeah, oh no, yeah, hypnosis. Yeah, sissy hypnosis. It'll make me into a sissy. You know that? No, because it's not true. Maybe they hope that it's true. Maybe they think, oh yeah, oh no. I mean, Michael Knowles is actually so concerned that I couldn't even do any research on this. I was afraid that it was going to melt my brain. Are you sure? Is that really what you were afraid of, Michael? Is that what you were afraid of? Because I think you might be afraid of something else. You might be afraid that you might like it. That's all I'm saying.
Sexual anarchy.
Oh, it's like, oh, I really want to do that research. I want to do the research into the sissy. Oh, yeah, the sissy hypno. No, here's what hypnosis is. And again, by the way, the whole idea that, you know, you can be put into a suggestive state is controversial, but there's also a scientifically accepted idea of what hypnosis is, and it's essentially daydreaming. So this altered state of hypnosis is essentially daydreaming, but you're also focused on something. So again, you're daydreaming about something, your kind of mind's just wandering off, but it's actually thinking about something. It's actually focused on something else. And if you're, for example, listening to a hypnotist or whatever, that hypnotist is usually giving you some sort of suggestion that'll help you towards a goal that you have already agreed to move towards. So, you know, you've got this goal in mind. You're like, you know, I want to lose weight, right? Now, the act of going into hypnosis is not going to make you lose weight. But what it might do is might convince you to take actions like walking more, treadmill, going out and doing something, eating better. That will bring you towards the goal of losing weight. It's to help put your mind into a different space. And I'm not advocating for people to undergo hypnosis. I'm just explaining what the scientific definition is and some examples of it. This is not a, you will do this now and you will do it like a robot kind of thing. No, what it is that, again, it is a focused mental state. Now, as an ADHD person myself, I go into something called a hyperfocus, okay? And so that's pretty much like this altered hypnotic state. You're really, really focused on something. You kind of tune out everything else around you, and you're really just into what you're doing at that moment. And then sometimes when you get, you know, interrupted in that, it's kind of jarring. Like you don't realize somebody's there. I've had times where, you know, I'm playing video games or whatever, and the wife will come up to me and be like, hey, I need something. Holy crap, where'd you come from? One of those situations. That's what hyperfocus is. And that's a lot like apparently the same as a hypnosis altered state. That's all it is. It doesn't make you do things that you're not wanting to do in the first place. Okay? So what Michael Knowles and this Gluck lady are talking about is just utter horse crap. It's bullshit. It's not real. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't sissy hypnosis. Oh, there is. It's fetish stuff. And there's all sorts of different fetish hypnosis stuff all over the internet. Okay? But it's for fun. It's for entertainment. It does not make you trans. The only way that it could is if you already were trans. And so it's not the hypnosis that's making you trans. It's just making you maybe a little bit more comfortable. Or for example, for the sissification, it's because you already want to be. You already want to be sissified. That's it. So, Michael, you've got nothing to worry about. Do all the research you want, buddy. Have fun. Have fun. You got nothing to worry about unless you were very, very concerned that, oops, you might like it a little too much. Okay.
Sexual anarchy.
Okay. God. These people are just the most ridiculous people in the world. My God.
Resurrection is about the people.
But it is about the people, at least. That's right. That's right.
There's some whores in this house. Wet ass P word.
Maybe.
Tighten up my meat. I like my meat tight.
Okay, I'm done. That was the last one. No, literally, it's the last story. All right, everybody, please like and share the stream if you haven't already. This has been a very interesting show today. Glad you tuned in. Appreciate that. Let me read some super chats, member comments, and gifted memberships. Gabby Mathis, thank you for the 1, 2, 3 gifted memberships on YouTube. Appreciate that. Very, very much. Thank you so much. It helps the show when you give the gift of memberships. Jonathan Leiter, thank you for gifting a membership as well. Nomadic Dragon, thank you for re-upping your membership for 3 months. Appreciate that. Mark Davis, member for 3 months. Member comment says, howdy, Jeff. Thanks to whoever gifted me a membership. It's John Brown's birthday today. I'm going to celebrate his memory tonight. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. You're based. Yes! Viton Gale, member for 19 months, says, love, number 85, to help nation thrive. Wonderful. Wonderful. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
The wokers.
That's for Lisa over on Facebook. And Jonathan Leiter also says, with a $5 super chat, says, I can't say that SP term here in super chat, but you're worth my SP money anytime.
I'm not worth your McDonald's money.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you all. Let's go to Twitch community here. Thank you for the new Twitch follows. Actually, that was yesterday's Twitch follows. But thank you for tuning in anyway. Appreciate you all. Thank you for making me laugh when I'm sad. Hey, it's what I try to do. It's what I try to do. Bring a little bit of levity by making fun of idiots. Today, it was let's just say it was a target-rich environment today. Okay. With our Twitch audience, we're just gonna raid into a James from the internet here. Everybody give them a follow. Everyone else, thank you. Love you all. And remember, change begins with you. Good night, nation. We'll see you back here tomorrow.
Testicles. Cow.
I like my meat tight.
Sexual anarchy.
Disappointed!
Woke mob.
Elon!
Can't let that happen.
You're kicking me out the door. You're kicking me out the door.
USA. USA. USA.